Alright guys, here we are, trying to figure out what happened to the Murray. So you guys saw the video, you saw this thing crap out on me, completely 100% my fault. I just dropped this thing into about 2 feet of muddy water without the snorkel attached. Yes, it has a snorkel. No, it wasn't connected for some stupid reason. We tore this thing completely down as much as we could. We pulled the carb, we pulled the valve cover. There's a complete lack of compression and or ignition timing is off. Because I can just kind of spin this around with my hand and there's really no compression stroke. I'm gonna go after the head first. I think I'm gonna pop the head off there and see if it's actually blown the gasket between the piston and crankcase. That's a very common spot for the OHVs, and considering this thing gulped in a ton of water and tried to compress it, I'm assuming that's where it went. Alright, so I've made a fair amount of progress. I've got most of the vitals torn off, intake, exhaust, valve cover, engine shroud, all that stuff. And side note, the emergency pull start works great as a bolt tray. So I'm pulling the valve train apart and was wondering about push rods. That one looks pretty straight, as does that one. So no bent push rods. Time to pull the head. Place your bets, people. What do we find inside the head? Oh. That is where OHVs notoriously blow head gaskets. They typically don't blow them completely off, but that is what happened. And you know what? Pretty sure some head gasket remains in there. Because that chunk had to go somewhere, right? That's part of it. Alright, so we got the Murray pulled into the shop here. As you can see, I've kind of started cleaning things up, getting ready for reassembly. I finally got my head gasket brand new in the mail and just checking things out to make sure everything was good to go. I do apologize for the lighting in here. I need to get my lighting figured out if I'm going to do videos down here, but just to show you that this thing actually does still reach top dead center, which is a good sign. So we're going to go ahead and smack the new head gasket on the head. I did a quick valve job, very quick. I was going to do some porting and mess around with it a little bit, but I decided probably not going to do that because I really don't need this thing to rev any higher or go any faster, because then I risk really tearing this motor apart. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now, and then probably this winter I might do a full rebuild on this motor because I do like this engine. I love the way it sounds. I'd love to do billet parts and a cam, you know, stuff like that. I apologize for the noise. It's the furnace. It's heating the water for showers. It's unfortunate, but it's a basement shop. It's the kind of stuff we have to deal with now. But you can see I've got the carburetor reinstalled. The exhaust pipe is all reinstalled. And right now I'm going to drop the oil and we're going to see what that looks like. God help me if I get oil everywhere. My wife will in fact kill me. Ooh, that is gray. Look at how brown that is. And watery. Oh, there we go. That's the good stuff. It smells like gas and failure. Those are chunks. I was hoping they were bubbles. Those are in fact chunks. That is pretty bad. So needless to say, I'm obviously changing the oil twice. My initial idea was to put some diesel in it and turn it over with the spark plug unplugged and just try to kind of wash it out, but I really don't like the idea of washing all the oil out between the crank journals and stuff like that. So instead what I'm going to do is put a little bit of this stuff in, and I'm going to start it up, run it for a few minutes, drain it, and then do it all over again. Here it is, moment of truth. I'd say here goes nothing, but it's more like here goes everything. Place your bets, people. It's something. The throttle cable's not routed properly. That's kind of a problem. Come on, baby. definitely seems to be smoking a lot. I don't know if I grenaded a ring or a valve seal, or maybe the head gasket's just got to set for a second. Well, it runs. It was a little smoky there, especially when I first started it up. That could just be residual oil, you know, in the combustion chamber or seeping past. Who really knows? That was some really nasty swamp water that thing ate. It could have totally destroyed the cylinder walls and or the piston rings. Hopefully it's all right. Maybe it's just some residual stuff, like I said. We're gonna run it. I'm gonna send it this weekend. It's gonna happen. I am gonna get the snorkel hooked back up this time. I think that would be very wise of me to do so I don't end up doing this again. I'm not gonna be nice to it just because I just fixed it. But stay tuned for the next video. See you guys later.